Good afternoon, Journey Church. My name is Justin Donahue, and I am the student pastor here at Journey. Wanted to make you aware of a series that we're about to go through in JSM, our student ministry here at Journey, called Meant to Be. This series is all about dating. We're going to be talking about dating from a biblical context. We're going to be talking about things that God says about relationships. And I want to make you aware, because we are going to be talking about some things that you may want to have conversations with your kids about beforehand. Do know that weeks 1 through 3 are pretty simple. We're not going to anything sort of detail about sex. We do talk about some physical boundaries, but week 4 we do talk about sex pretty heavily. So I want to make you aware of what we're going to be talking about each week. That way you can have those conversations with your kids beforehand if you haven't already. This week we're going to be kicking off the series with the main idea that staying close to Jesus makes every relationship better. And I think that's something that we can all agree on if we claim to be a believer. We're going to be talking about how Jesus and a relationship with Him should be our number one priority. And then we're going to talk about how that relationship will then impact every other relationship in our life. And then week 2, which is going to be February 13th, we're going to be our main topic there is going to be the purpose of dating is to lead toward marriage. So we're going to be talking to these kids about even as teenagers, the purpose of dating is to lead towards marriage. I know that's a heavy topic, but I think that if we're teaching these teens about dating, then we need to be teaching them the right idea behind dating. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about how dating, even as a teen, can be good or it can be bad. And what's important is how we go about it. That's what makes the difference. Then on week 3, which is February 20th, our idea there is dating on purpose means you know who you're looking for. And we're going to be using a passage from 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 14 and 15, where Paul talks about not being equally yoked with unbelievers. And we're going to be talking to your kids about there is how it's important to, especially if they claim to be a believer, if they are looking to date someone, they need to be looking to date other believers. Another thing we're going to hit on there is missionary dating. If you're not familiar with that, that's just the idea that I'm going to date this person so that they will become a Christian. That's not how it works. And that's not something we need to date somebody for, because we can lead people to Christ just by being their friends. And so those are some of the things we're going to be talking about in week 3. And then in week 4, which is February 27th, we're going to be talking about sex. And the main idea during week 4 is that sex can be seriously fulfilling or seriously destructive. And what we're going to be talking about that week is just God's design for sex. We're not going to go into any graphic detail or anything. We will mention pornography and lust and how those things can be destructive, not only to ourselves, but to our relationships. And so I just wanted to make you guys aware of those things. If you feel like you need to have conversations with your students before they come to JSM these weeks, or if you're not ready for those conversations, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to know what we're going to be talking about. That way you can hold them out if you feel the need. But I do think these are important conversations to be having, especially because our kids are in a culture that teaches them that if you don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, then there's something wrong with you. You're not doing something right. And I think the most important place they can be having those conversations is at home with you, their parents. But I think a second great place for them to be having these conversations is in church, hearing about these things from a biblical context. So know that we are in this with you. We want to do this alongside of you. We want to come alongside of you and have these conversations. And so just know that we love you guys. We want to support you guys, and we love your students as well. And we appreciate you entrusting us with your students. Thanks.